Hello everyone and welcome to my first ever TouchDesigner tutorial here on YouTube. And today I would like to show you guys how I made this really abstract and glitchy visual. And yeah, before we're going to start over from scratch, I would like to show you actually how this works. So we're using an Lsystem SOP and we're rotating it here. And yeah, then I have two feedback loops. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not a complex system, so it's very easy to follow this. And here I have some automation that we're uh, feeding into some parameters here. But I will get into that at the end of this tutorial. All right, so let's start by deleting everything, and we are going to create this step by step. So I'm going to start with the Lsystem SOP that I just showed you. And what this does is it kind of creates these branches. And if you change the generations, you can see that it's growing. Let's start with 10 for now. And also we change the type to tube, so it's a little thicker here. We are also going to change the thickness later, but first we want this thing to move. So I'm going to make it rotate by adding a transform SOP again, and I will type in ABS time dot seconds times, let's do 25. Actually, that was the wrong axis. So I will just copy this over here. Yep, this looks better. Yeah, you want to put it onto the y-axis here of the rotation. And you can see that now our tree is turning around. And yeah, we are going to connect this to a geocomp. So here, geometry. And also we're going to need a camera, and we're going to output this into a render top. Yeah, now also we need a material here under mat. Let's take a constant, and we're going to drag it onto the geo and select material. So now if we add a null in the end, we can press this blue display button here, and we will have it displayed on the background. So this null right here is going to be our final result operator. So you can rename this to results or whatever you like. Doesn't really change anything. And our tree is kinda cut off, so we need to move it down a little bit here by pressing this plus icon on the camera. You can zoom in, zoom out, right click it to move it around. All right, so this is our basic setup here. And yeah, now we're going to work on this a little bit. So first of all, let's add a RGB key here to create a black background. And yeah, now we're going to go over to this Lsystem again. And under values, we find this step size. So uh, we want to decrease it a little bit. So actually, let me zoom out really far here. If you change it, then our tree grows. This is our fertilizer here. So let's put the step size to 0.33, and we can adjust this again. We're probably going to have to adjust this a couple of times. And yeah, now if we go to step size scale, this is the most important one. we're going to bring it all the way down to -1. And what you can see here is that we get this really glitchy, distorted structure of this collapsed tree. And if we go to tube, we can also change the thickness here. Let's bring it down by, let's do 0.07. And here we can also change the thickness scale if we want to. But let's leave it at 0.9 for now. Now if we go to our values, um, we can also change the angle. So what this does is the more we bring it down, the more condensed it gets, kind of. You can play around with this a little and create some really cool stuff. For now, we can just leave it at, yeah, let's do 20. And yeah, this is already looking way better than before. Also, another thing we can do is if we go to tube and we um, increase the branch blend here, we can see that it's going out even more, which is cool. So now that this is done, we're going to make some cool stuff happen. So let's make some more space. We're going to just drag these over here. What we want to do now is create a feedback loop. So what a feedback loop does is it takes some input here, and then we can make this loop with itself so that we get a really cool visual. And I'm going to make another uh, pathway up here, and I'm going to select a feedback top. And to control the feedback top, also we need a level. And then we're going to connect all of this to a composite right here. And yeah, we're going to drag this into the composite. And you can see this also looks cool, but we're aiming for something different. Yeah, to activate the loop, you can drag this comp top into the feedback top. And yeah, now we activated it. So we actually want this operation here to be an add. And you can see now that it's going completely crazy. And yeah, we want to go here to post and to decrease the opacity. So if you see, you can, if you put it to 1, it loops it completely. But if you decrease it, we get these yeah, traces around here, which is pretty cool. So for now, let's put this to 0.6, almost invisible. And another cool thing about a feedback loop is if I mess something up, for example, this, and I want to reset it, I can go here to feedback and press pulse. But I don't actually want to go here all the time to press this button. So we can make this activate with our keyboard. And how do we do this? We create a keyboard chop, keyboard in. We're going to place it right on top. And if we press this little plus icon again and we drag it onto the feedback, we can select chop reference on the pulse here. And yeah, if we press 1 here on our keyboard, we can reset this, which is pretty convenient. So again, let's put it at 0.6 for now. And yeah, we're going to add another feedback loop now. Let's do the same thing that we did before. Feedback and a level and also a blur. Now the blur we will need for later. I will show you why in a second, but right now we're going to press bypass so that it's not activated. And we add another composite here and change the operation to negate. We can connect this here now, and now we can see this really cool effect. So to activate the feedback loop, we can drag this comp again to the feedback, and it starts to get real glitchy. Now we go to post again, and we're going to decrease the opacity once more. We can play around with this number actually, but for now we can leave it at whatever fits. And yeah, also on the level, we want more gamma. So let's do 10 for now. And we want this white shape here to extend all over the screen. So to do this once, we can press bypass here, and as you can see, it goes over the whole screen. We can disable this again because uh, we once activated it and it was feeding into the feedback loop, and now we don't need this anymore. So you can just get rid of it. And yeah, in the end here now we can place another level, and we can play around with this black level here. So if you increase it just a little bit, you really have to find the sweet spot. Um, we see that it now has a really cool outline, and we're actually pretty close to what I've shown you in the beginning. All right, so now that we have created this setup, we can go inside and play some, play some, play around some more with the settings. And I would actually like to zoom in a little bit more and rotate this by -40. Yeah, readjust this again. Now I would like to automate some of the parameters here in this Lsystem operator. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an LFO chop and change the type to Gaussian so that it only goes into the positive direction. And I'm going to connect it to a math and then to a null. So what we can do is copy this 4 times, 3 times actually, so that we can have some more some more control over these math here. So what I'm going to do is I will animate 4 different parameters, and the first one actually let's make some more space. The first one I will animate is the random scale. So let's just call this random scale. And we can change the frequency here to 0.2. So it's a little bit slower and a little bit smoother. And we will take this null here with the numbers, and we're going to drag it onto random scale here on the geometry. Release it and press chop reference, and now you can see that it starts to move, which is pretty cool. But we're not finished. We're going to make some more changes. So for example, I can also add this to the thickness scale. So I will call this thickness scale. It's not really important how you call it. It's just for ourselves that we can keep some more overview on what we're doing. So I'm going to drag this to the thickness scale here. And we can see that now it's changing really rapidly. So actually, let's reduce this too. And let's put 0.2. Or actually, let's do it a little quicker. So like 0.4. Yeah, now it's kind of pulsating. And also on the face, we're going to change this to let's put it here so that the LFO spends more time on the peaks here. And then we can have these, yeah, these black lines for a longer period of time. And actually, let's change the math here from 0.3 to 0.7 because we don't want it to go all crazy on the thickness scale. So, for example, if if we put it to 1, it's really like blurry and overlaps, and if we put it to if we put it to 0, then nothing really happens. So we want only this section here from 0.3 to 0.7. And we did that by enabling it here to go from 0.3 to 0.7. And you can see that it stops at 0.3 and at 0.7. Okay, so we will put this back onto the thickness scale. And yeah, this is already looking pretty nice. And we have two more LFOs to go that I would like to show you. The third one is the step size. So let's call the step size. And we're going to change the frequency, again 0.4. And let's move this. Oops, can't see it. Let's move this onto the step size. Yeah, step size, just normal step size. And yeah, now it's really going crazy. So we don't want that. We want it to be only in the range of 0.6 to 0.8. And yeah, now we have a little more movement. Actually, let's adjust this again like this. Now we're feeling really immersed in this because it covers the whole screen. And yeah, for the last LFO, we will put this on the angle. So if you remember, the angle is this amount of kind of condensedness that we have going on. And so let's change this maybe to the yeah 50, and on the low end 7 looks cool. So let's put it here on range 7 to 50, and we're going to decrease the frequency to something like that. Let's see in the end how it looks. So we move it onto the angle, chop reference, and yeah, I think this is a little too quick even, so we can put it to 0.3. And yeah, now we have a lot of cool effects, and you can use this technique for any of your projects too. Like just look at a parameter you want to change, and yeah, we were here. So for example, just the angle as I talked about it. Find out what numbers are convenient for you, and then just add the maximum end and the minimum end here to the range. And yeah, I think that's it for today. We made a really cool and pulsating glitchy visual. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on my Instagram or here on YouTube. I will make sure to respond to you really quickly. And yeah, as always, feel free to follow my tutorial and then to add some of your own ideas or change any of those settings so you like it better. Yeah, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.